Some islands are better left alone. This one should have come with a warning sign. The movie opens with two hunters, Rex and Oaken, tracking a bull across a remote island in the middle of nowhere. It seems like a normal hunt at first, but almost immediately something feels wrong. The bull suddenly panics. It doesn't just walk away, it bolts, like it sensed something the two men couldn't. It disappears into the jungle at full speed. Rex and Oaken chase after it. They push through the thick trees and heavy undergrowth, and then they both stop completely. Standing right in front of them is a snake. Not a big snake, not a large snake. A monster, a creature so enormous that neither man can fully process what they are looking at. A smart person would run, but Rex and Oaken are not thinking about survival right now. They are thinking about money. A snake this size would be worth an absolute fortune. They look at each other. They make a terrible decision. The snake makes a faster one. Rex doesn't even have time to react before the creature is on him. Oaken watches in pure horror for exactly 1 second, and then he runs. He runs as fast as his legs will carry him, straight back toward the shore, toward the boat, toward escape. The boat is gone. The storm destroyed it completely. Oaken is trapped on this island, alone. A few hours later, a helicopter arrives carrying a completely different group of people, a team of researchers led by Professor Malin. Their mission has nothing to do with hunting. They are here to study prehistoric drawings carved into the island's ancient rocks. Peaceful academic work. A few days in the jungle, some photographs, some notes, and then home. They land, set up camp, and prepare for the night. The professor gives instructions. Jason and Aaron will gather firewood. Everyone else will get the campsite ready. Tomorrow morning at sunrise, they head deeper into the jungle toward the research site. Then they hear movement in the trees. Oaken stumbles out of the jungle looking like he has been through something terrible. He can barely stand. He begs for water. He tells them he came to the island with his partner, who was bitten by a snake and didn't survive. He mentions the destroyed boat. He answers all their questions, but he says nothing about the size of the snake. Professor Malin tells him a helicopter is coming in 2 days. He can leave with them. Oaken thanks them, mentions he left some equipment in the jungle, and then disappears back into the darkness before anyone can ask more questions. The next morning starts badly and gets worse quickly. Professor Malin is bitten by a spider while preparing for the day. Within minutes, he is already feeling seriously ill. Oaken takes one look at the bite, and his expression changes completely. This particular spider, he explains, carries highly dangerous venom. Without treatment, the professor has maybe 36 hours before it kills him. The expedition is over. They need to leave now. Malin gets on the radio with Rita, the helicopter operator. She gives him the worst possible answer. The storm is too severe. The winds are too strong. No pilot can safely fly to the island right now. She will keep trying, but she cannot promise anything. Oaken speaks up. He tells them about a rare orchid growing somewhere deep in the jungle. According to him, the plant can slow the venom and buy the professor enough time to survive until the helicopter arrives. It is their only option. The group splits up. Benji stays behind with Professor Malin. Everyone else follows Oaken into the jungle. The hike is brutal. The heat is heavy. The jungle is thick. And after hours of walking, Jason is struggling badly. He is exhausted and falling behind. Allison tells him to keep drinking water before the humidity finishes him off. Finally, Oaken brings them to the orchid location. They all stop. The tree holding the orchid is completely covered in snakes. Nobody takes a single step closer. Oaken reminds them, without that plant, the professor dies. Someone has to get it. And then, before anyone can argue further, the jungle goes very quiet. That specific kind of quiet that means something large is nearby. The giant snake appears. It moves toward them slowly, like it already knows they have nowhere to run. Panic breaks out immediately. The entire group takes off running through the jungle with this enormous creature right behind them. They run until their legs give out, finally stopping to catch their breath in a small clearing. Grace, who knows about wildlife, tells them what they are dealing with. The snake is nearly 60 feet long. The largest boa ever recorded in history was around 40 feet. This creature should not exist. Then someone notices that Jason is not there. They call his name. Nothing. No response. Just jungle silence. Earlier, Jason had fallen too far behind due to exhaustion. He had gotten lost, completely alone in the jungle. He heard movement nearby and hid himself behind some bushes. Then he saw it, the giant boa moving slowly right toward him. He held perfectly still. The jungle went silent around him. Back at camp, Benji had been flying a drone over the island and recording footage. He and Professor Malin finally see the creature clearly on the screen for the first time. The professor stares at it, stunned. This is not just a giant boa, he tells Benji. This is something different, something older, a Megaboa, a creature larger than even the ancient Titanoboa, one of the biggest snakes that ever lived on Earth. the island just became a great deal more terrifying. In the jungle, the group argues about what to do: go back for Jason or try to escape. Oaken tells them he carries heavy tranquilizer darts strong enough to knock out an animal of enormous size. Aaron points out that if they are going back anyway, they should also get the orchid while they have the chance. Allison checks her flare gun. 3 flares left. Grace thinks the entire plan is completely insane and tells everyone to leave before they end up like Jason. But here's the problem. Without Oaken, not one of them knows how to navigate through this jungle or avoid the traps scattered across it. He is their only way out. They go back. When they reach the orchid tree, Allison and Oaken take positions while Adam starts climbing. He almost reaches the orchid, and then the Megaboa appears again. Allison fires a flare. She misses. Oaken fires a tranquilizer dart. It hits directly, and the massive snake crashes unconscious to the ground. For just a moment, they feel safe. Then, Jason's body slides out from the snake's mouth. Adam loses his grip and falls from the tree. Smaller snakes begin surrounding the area from every direction. The group abandons the orchid and runs again. After stopping to regroup, Oaken pulls out a new idea and a stick of dynamite. He suggests they simply blow the tree down. No more climbing. The tranquilizer was strong enough to put 50 elephants to sleep, he tells them. The Megaboa will not wake up anytime soon. Grace refuses completely. She tells them they need to leave this island right now before every single one of them is dead. Oaken responds by revealing one more problem. Hunter traps are spread all across this jungle, and without him to guide them through, escaping is nearly impossible. The others decide to try leaving without him anyway. They don't get far. They find one of the hidden traps almost immediately. Then they look up and notice snakes, dozens of them, hanging from the trees directly above them. The creatures begin moving downward. They run back to Oaken. Together, all of them return to the orchid tree. The Megaboa is still lying on the ground, unconscious. Oaken attaches dynamite to the base of the tree trunk. They back away, detonate it, and the entire tree crashes down with all its snakes. The smoke clears. They look around for the Megaboa. It is gone. The tranquilizer has worn off. Allison grabs the orchid quickly from the fallen tree, and then the Megaboa explodes back into action, attacking Aaron before anyone can react. The group runs again, the creature right behind them, crashing through the jungle like a living disaster. They find a cave and dive inside. Grace notices something on the walls. Ancient drawings covering the stone. They show enormous snakes shedding their skin, while ancient tribes attack them during that exact moment. She files that detail away in the back of her mind, without fully understanding why it matters yet. Then something moves in the darkness of the cave. Massive spiders begin crawling out from every corner, and among them is one spider bigger than anything they have ever seen. Allison fires both of her remaining flares at it, setting it on fire. The group escapes the cave. Outside, the Megaboa is already there waiting, but then the snake spots the burning spider. It shifts its attention entirely toward this new target, giving the group just enough time to slip away unnoticed through the jungle. They reach the abandoned laboratory. Outside, they see a zipline tower stretching across a gap and a strange pool releasing thick white smoke. Oaken tells them the pool is highly acidic. Nobody asks why scientists built an acid pool in the middle of a jungle island, because right now it doesn't seem like the most important question. Inside the lab, the atmosphere feels wrong. Empty shelves, old equipment. Allison searches through supplies and finds knives and strange eggs stored in containers. Then cabinet doors start bursting open and snakes pour out from everywhere. The group fights them off. Allison uses fire to drive them back. The fire spreads. Within seconds, the entire laboratory is burning. Smoke pours out through every opening, and the smoke brings the Megaboa straight to them. The creature surrounds the building, cutting off every exit. They are completely trapped inside a burning lab with a monster waiting outside. Oaken makes a decision. He tells Allison and Grace to use the zipline and get across. He will distract the snake. He will buy them enough time. Allison says they are not leaving him behind. Oaken tells her calmly, this is not a sacrifice. He is going to kill it. All three run outside together. Oaken turns to face the Megaboa directly, using everything he has. Every dart, every trick, every piece of experience built up over a lifetime of hunting. It barely slows the creature down. Allison and Grace climb the zipline tower. Oaken runs toward them with the snake right behind him. At the very last second, all three grab the line and slide across the gap. Halfway across, the Megaboa catches Oaken. The massive creature pulls him down into the acid pool below. He disappears beneath the surface. The snake goes in with him. Professor Malin and Benji arrive at that exact moment and stare at the enormous body floating in the acid below. Allison and Grace reach the other side, barely breathing. Then the body moves. The acid did not kill it. The Megaboa's outer skin was thick enough to protect it from the pool. The creature begins shedding its damaged skin right in front of all of them, and emerges from the acid alive, larger and angrier than before. It immediately traps Professor Malin and Benji. Allison and Grace stare at each other, and then Grace remembers the cave paintings. The ancient people who lived on this island centuries ago knew one thing. The only moment this creature was ever vulnerable was during the shedding process. Right now, while its new skin is fresh and exposed, is the only chance they will ever get. They grab knives and attack. This time the blades actually cut through. The creature thrashes violently in pain, throwing everything around it. In the chaos, the Megaboa wraps itself around Grace completely. Everything looks finished. Grace drives the knife directly into the creature's head with one final push. The Megaboa collapses. It does not get back up. Grace pulls herself free. Somehow, impossibly, she is alive. The group moves quickly. They crush the orchid and give it to Professor Malin. Slowly, steadily, his condition begins to improve. And right on schedule, the rescue helicopter finally arrives over the island. The survivors climb aboard. The helicopter lifts off. Below them, the jungle shrinks away. The nightmare is behind them, except it isn't. In the final moments, another Megaboa emerges silently from the jungle. It moves toward the dead snake's body and begins consuming it slowly and completely. There was never just one. This island still holds things that should not exist. And some places, no matter how curious you are or how much money you think you might make, are genuinely better left undiscovered.